Inflation, how it affects you, causes, and what you can do about it. If you were to buy a bag of rice today in my country, you'd probably be spending 700% the price you would have bought it 15 years ago. The increase in the price of goods and commodities cuts across all sectors of the economy. The National Bureau of Statistics disclosed in its Consumer Price Index June 2024 report that Nigeria's inflation rate in the month of June 2024 increased to 34.2% on a year-on-year basis. This means that the headline inflation rate increased in the month of June 2024 when compared to the same month in the previous year, that's June 2023. The Consumer Price Index for all urban consumers, CPIU, for the 12-month period ending June 2022 in the United States of America was 9.1%. This was the largest increase for a 12-month period since November 1981. In this video, we'll be educating you on inflation and how it affects you. If you want to know what you can do during this period of rising inflation, then watch this video till the end. If you're new here, welcome! Please subscribe and turn on the notification button so that you don't miss interesting videos just like this one. Let's begin. Now, what is inflation? Inflation simply means a general increase in the price of goods and services. The rise in prices means that a unit of currency will buy less goods and services than it did in the previous periods. It causes increase in prices of food, fuel, transportation, electricity bills, healthcare, cost of labor, etc., consequently leading to a reduction in the purchasing power of money. This loss of purchasing power affects the cost of living for the average public, which eventually leads to a deceleration in economic growth. Just think about how much a lollipop candy cost when you were a little kid. Now think about how much that same lollipop candy costs today. Or think about the transportation cost to your favorite leisure park 5 years ago. Now think about how much it costs today. That price level increase is inflation. Another example to make you understand better. One of the most straightforward examples of inflation in action can be seen in the price of a car. In the 80s, the cost of a car was less than 4,000 naira. Can you buy a car with 4,000 naira now? This increase is not due to the car becoming more scarce or expensive to make. In fact, the opposite is true. Instead, this price reflects the gradual decrease in the value of money as a result of inflation. How inflation affects you. A small but positive inflation rate is economically useful. However, high inflation rates have a positive feedback mechanism and impair the economy's long-term improvement. Here are common effects of inflation. 1. Reduction in purchasing power. This is the primary and most devastating effect of inflation. As the prices of goods and services rise up, money loses its value. For example, the Nigerian naira has lost about 1,000% of its value between 2012 and 2024. Consequently, you won't be able to buy as much goods today as you would have 12 years ago. Number 2, it negatively affects the poor. Inflation mostly hurts poor people. They spend a large percent of their income on food and basic necessities. When these prices increase, the poor have no choice but to pay for them. The poor spend more just to get by. 3. Causes awful recession. Recession is a period of temporary economic decline during which trade and industrial activities are reduced, generally identified by a fall in the GDP in 2 successive quarters. Due to the increase in prices of goods and commodities, the demand tends to drop, causing industries and trades to reduce. 4. It raises interest rates. Consistent and high levels of inflation may prompt the central banks to increase interest rates in order to control inflation. Financial institutions may also increase their cost of borrowing in order to protect themselves from inflationary pressures. In turn, debtors may actually find it harder to obtain loans. Now, let's talk about the causes of inflation. Hey, We're going to make this as simple as possible. An increase in the supply of money is the primary cause of inflation. This happens when the government prints more money to give to its citizens or legally devalues the currency. Do you know the Zimbabwean dollar is almost worthless? This is because the Zimbabwean government, led by Robert Mugabe, kept printing more money until the currency became worthless. Here are a few causes of inflation. Number 1. When the demand for certain goods and services is higher than the economy's ability to meet those demands. When people have more money, it leads to positive consumer behavior. This in turn leads to higher spending and increased demand for goods and services. When this demand surpasses supply, this pulls prices higher and causes inflation. Number 2, increased cost of production and labor. When there's increased cost of production, the cost is passed down to the consumer in form of higher prices. 3, increased money supply. When there's too much money in circulation, it can lead to increase in the prices of goods and services because there'll be too much money chasing fewer products. 4, devaluation. Devaluation is the deliberate downward adjustment of the value of a country's money relative to another currency, group of currencies, or currency standard. For a consumer nation like Nigeria, it leads to high cost of importation, hence increasing the prices of goods. What to do in this period of rising inflation? During inflation, its effect on the economy and assets is uncertain. However, histories in economics offer this general guideline. Here are a few inflation hedges that can keep you ahead as prices rise. 1. Investing in real estate. Real estate has proven to defy inflation because it becomes more useful and valuable during inflation. You can buy real estate directly or invest in Real Estate Investment Trust, REIT. 2. Buying commodities. When there's rise in inflation, investors often turn to real assets likely to rise in value. For centuries, the leading safe haven has been God's money, gold, and to a lesser extent, other precious metals such as palladium, silver, platinum, etc., causing prices to rise as inflation rises. 3. Saving in valued foreign currencies. A foreign savings account is a type of investment used by investors to invest in a currency other than the naira or a country's currency. Foreign savings account holders can profit from interest and currency appreciation. If you need guidelines on how to save in foreign currencies in Nigeria, send an email to the email address in the description below. Now, let's talk about the major takeaways from this video. Inflation is a sustained and broad rise in the prices of goods and services over a period. Next, inflation reduces the purchasing power of the common public. What else? When demand for goods and services surpasses supply, this pulls prices higher, causing inflation. Real estate and commodities have historically outperformed during periods of high or rising inflation. Thank you so much for watching this video. Check the description to see videos that we've handpicked for you to watch and enjoy next. If you haven't subscribed yet, you are missing out. Subscribe and turn on the notifications button. Don't forget to comment, like, and share this video with your friends and families. We love you.